I am your host and game master at MadSciDM, and we are here with three of our fantastic Breakfast Club-esque players. And I'll let them reintroduce themselves and remind everyone who they are playing. And so why don't we start over there with Corey?
Sure. My name is Corey Hickson. You can find me on Twitter at the same name. And tonight I'm going to be playing Alice, and she is an ardent maker who turns tales into reality. My pronouns are he, they. Alice's pronouns are she, her. And I'm really excited to do some new stuff. So, yeah.
Excellent, fantastic. Yes. So, for people who may not be as familiar with Invisible Sun, which is probably most people because it's a relatively, I don't want to call it a niche game because that sounds bad, but it's not as widespread. Our characters are described by sentences. Basically, they are nouns, adjectives, and verbs, and that all influences the abilities that they have in the game. So let's pop it on over to Annie.
Hello, I'm Annie. My pronouns are she, her. I play the character Henrietta or Henry, and she is a connected empath of the Order of Weavers who disgorges creatures. Hope to actually be doing some disgorging of creatures this evening. That hasn't happened yet, but we've come close a couple times. Yeah, and Henry's great. This game is great. I hope y'all enjoy what we got in store for you tonight.
Excellent, excellent. And Sam, what about you?
Hi, I'm Sam. I'm 60 for the Victor on Twitter. I use she, her pronouns. Lucky is he, him. He is an ardent apostate who shepherds minds. I don't know what else to add. Check out Uncaged Anthology on the DM's Guild.
Yes, absolutely. Everyone should 100%.
Haven't already.
Yes, if you haven't done it, do it. And we'll have some more shout outs at the end of the show. And yeah, perfect. So yes, I am Dan, MadSciDM, and I use he, him pronouns. And so we will dive right in. So your crew are gathered once again in Dark Basement, the former music venue in the city of Satyrine, recovering from an ages-old war, and the home of Henrietta, upon which Lucky occasionally couch surfs or squats or some semblance of resides there on a couch. And Alice's house is inside a mirror ball that is inside Dark Basement. So you've had an exciting adventure involving stealing a book for a Goetic on your quest to track down exactly who owns Dark Basement, Henrietta or the neighbors from the bodega upstairs.
It's not them.
So that's not them.
I ain't moving.
And meanwhile, Henrietta has also had some things that have happened sort of off screen in some side scenes that we have dealt with several of our players. Annie, do you want to fill people in a little bit on what's going on with Henrietta as well?
Sure. So the thing with Henry's forte, which is disgorgeous creatures, it's not something that she necessarily wanted. It's contracted as a virus. Basically, she went to a party and got some like bad drugs or something like that. Had a real bad time and started vomiting up monsters. Like, that's cool. It's not something that you want to wake up one day and start doing.
No.
So to help her through this, she was sort of like helped and like nursed and mentored by this woman named Amelia Locke, who is currently suffering from some sort of like stalking, like a monster is stalking her. And so Henry, in order to like pay her back for all the good that she did for Henry. Henry wants to like pay her back by figuring out what exactly is going on, figuring out what monster being is sort of stalking people like Henry and Amelia, and putting an end to it with violence or whatever else you to deal with problems. I'm not really sure what that is, so we'll figure it out. Talking?
Excellent. It could be talking. It most likely will involve magic, because magic permeates this entire world. And of course, all of your characters as Vizsla are able to work said magic. So we will see where that goes. We also, Lucky received a gift from Emma Elizabeth as well. Did you want to inform people about that at all?
Yeah, sure. Emma Elizabeth gave me a set of magical lockpicks.
Mm-hmm.
I believe do they open any door? I don't know if I got like the information on them. I just know that I have some magical lockpicks now.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Yeah,
don't
so
know
they're
why
magic
Emma
lockpicks.
Elizabeth. Sorry, no. Emma Elizabeth and Lucky do not see eye to eye. They could not be more different. Unfortunately, Emma Elizabeth is not here tonight. So when she bestowed this gift upon Lucky, he was suspicious, actually. But I would you mind telling me what they actually do?
Yeah. So they're a set of magical lockpicks. They don't magically open any door.
Mm-hmm.
But they are magical. They do have a level, so they are an object of power.
Okay.
So they are a permanently enchanted magic item, and basically they'll give you an extra asset on your ventures for anything where you're trying to pick locks. So they pick locks real good.
Nice. Excellent. She was very cagey. That's an Emma Elizabeth pun if you know anything about her.
Yes, absolutely.
But about why she was giving them to me, but I take anything I can get.
Perfect. And did you have anything else that you wanted to sort of share about Lucky's adventures off screen, or keep them sort of secret for now?
No, it's okay. I did go with Henry. I did go with Henry to find Amelia. However, I was not there when she had the conversation with her, but I accompanied her because it was in a very, very shady area, and that's just my area of expertise. So.
Yes. Excellent. Good. All right. So I can see that Corey is itching to kick us off because Alice, as a maker, just made something. So, Corey, why don't you open our scene for this evening? Although I will first play our first card on the Path of Suns.
Okay.
So, of course, there are 9 suns, at least according to the Vizsla. From the invisible sun flows all magic through the worlds of the actuality. And we have the Sooth deck, which is sort of helps shape and guide that magic. So to start things off, we have played our first card. And we have played the Banished Serpent. So the Banished Serpent is associated with mysteries, rats, mirrors, and stone. Mirrors actually seems kind of appropriate given that we're starting off in the Mirror Ball. Meanings balance, exile, and punishment. So Vizsla know exile, but for them and their time in shadow, the exile was self-imposed. The Banished Serpent was cast out, sent back from whence it came. Banishment rids us of a problem, but does not bring it into a permanent end. So this can be a blessing or a curse depending on who is getting exiled or punished. Someone is cast out. So somewhat ominous, although, a little bit of a double-edged sword there to start things off in tone for this evening. So with that in mind, Corey, why don't you kick us off with Alice?
I just wanted to add to that. The last line says, "For despair, the PC is punished for a crime."
Real
Oh,
or
yes.
otherwise.
He's punished for a crime, real or otherwise. Yeah,
Real.
just gonna say that might be appropriate.
Cool. So Alice comes running out of the disco ball, the mirror ball.
Can you
And-
describe how she does this?
Yes, I would love
Right.
to know. Like I said, like the last time, I just imagined that like hair comes out first. Just like it starts out like squished out, and then as like Alice comes out, it just goes, and then the rest of her just sort of like is there.
Yeah. The hair sort of comes out and it just does the pop, and then quickly the rest of her falls, and she goes and says, "I've got something to show. Do we want to go take a look?"
Oh, in your house?
Yeah. Deep in my house.
How deep is it?
Well, it is the deepest that we can go that I know of.
We're starting out real strong tonight.
We really are.
Okay. Henry was reading a book, but she's gonna put it down. Like, make sure her bookmark is in place, and she'll stand up from her like tattered armchair and shrug and be like, "All right, yeah, I'll go in your house. Which rooms are available today?"
The Ace of Hearts.
Great,
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Nope.
the Ace of Hearts room. All right, sure.
perfect.
Yes. It's gonna be great. Don't worry about it.
Okay, cool,
Have-
cool.
Have we been in Alice's house previously? I mean, we're neighbors.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't think you've been to the Ace of Hearts. This room is special. But I
Okay.
definitely have like a dining room with that can host people, you know.
yeah.
Um,
All right.
that's-
So let's.
That's the Six of Diamonds, by the way.
Oh, good. I'll climb in. I'll climb into your house. How do I get into your house? I've
Um,
never
Do we
actually
in your
considered
house.
the like. So I realize this is a magical surreal setting, but I can't help but wonder about the actual physics. A larger, like normal sized human
Uh-huh.
person going into a relatively like even a large mirror ball, like you could have inside.
Yeah. So there's, two answers here. One is obviously it's bigger on the inside,
Well, yeah.
right?
Yeah, but
Clearly.
it's like hanging, right?
It is
Yeah.
hanging.
You have
Do
to
Yeah.
jump.
anything. So
And-
do you jump really high?
Can I amend
Yeah.
a step stool in Dark Basement, like that
Oh.
we can pull out?
Or do you
I'll hold my
like
hand.
grab it and pull yourself in?
But like when Alice is like the NPC in like video games, like she'll just stand there under her mirror ball for like way too long while we're wandering around. She'll randomly just say like, "Hey, climb up, climb up. This is the way." I'm just like, I'm exploring.
So Cora, how do we get in?
Yeah,
Alice?
sorry.
I think I'll like hold my
Mm.
two hands out and like hoist y'all up, just like right up. And I think once you touch it, you get like suctioned in. I
That
think
sounds so unpleasant.
it's probably a bit unpleasant.
Does the ball like open like it's eating you?
Like an airlock.
Hmm. I think there's like one. I
One
think
square.
Yeah, one square, and as soon as you touch that square, you get like, you know how they do like the apparition in Harry Potter?
Mhm.
Yeah.
You get like spaghetti noodle apparated into that.
That's cool.
I just want to pretend that there is a distinct slurping sound when this
Yeah.
happens.
Whoa. Don't like that.
I love it.
Yeah. And
All
then
right,
as you
well-
get hoisted up, don't.
Do you automatically go into the room that you're supposed to be in?
I'm not
Or
sure.
are we all going to be lost in Alice?
I don't know. I assume that we always start in like an entry, like a
A foyer.
foyer.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Alice's foyer.
I don't think I have a foyer.
Well, okay, never
It's
mind.
not one of your 52 rooms.
It's not
So
one of the
this-
rooms I know about.
So this isn't like Betrayal on House on the Hill or whatever.
The two rooms that are close together is the room full of tables and the food space. Otherwise, I don't know if they're connected otherwise.
It's fine.
All right.
Uh,
Well, while Henry was reading, Lucky was taking any available books and stacking them into towers on the floor, actively taking them off the bookshelf, and
And at one point, while Henry was reading, she just flicks her eyes up and says, "You'll put those all back." And reading
of course,
in a very stern,
Right.
motherly voice.
sure, absolutely. All right, into Alice's house we go.
Yeah.
so the room that we're going to is probably my most private room. It's the Ace of Hearts, and then this is the room that connects to my heart.
It's so romantic.
It is romantic.
So
What does it look like inside?
I think it's pretty mechanical, like very industrial. And I think it kind of looks like a boiler room,
All right, that's cool.
I think. Feel free to add ideas or suggestions because I haven't thought it through yet. And I think at this point down, I have the thing in the room.
Yep.
Cool.
Yeah, you finished crafting it, so.
And in the room, I say, I finished making it. I made crime. It's here now. I've got it.
You made crime.
Yes. It took
You
me.
made something illegal?
No, I made crime. It is here now in my heart, where I want it to be.
Crime is in your heart, and you
Mhm.
wanted it there.
Yeah, I built it and put it in there.
Oh, sweetie.
You're doing great, sweetie.
Totally Henrietta's champ.
Lucky just kind of gives Henry a look like,
That's our Alice. Well, are you going to show us your crime heart?
We could go take a closer look.
Okay, yeah.
Mhm.
All right.
I'm happy for you.
That's great. I'm happy for me too.
Good.
Oh, I guess I should be happy too then.
Yeah, like it's just freaking elbows.
This is fantastic, Alice. Congratulations on crime.
Okay, good. That's good. I believe you totally. Yeah, and then I'll pull the two over, and so I haven't figured out what it looks like now that it's actually built, but I can maybe mention off some of the ingredients for the stream.
Yep.
The main material is steel, and I built
that a
into
pun?
Yes.
it is.
And it was me.
It was.
That's so good.
Really proud.
I got a couple of these ingredients from Twitter. One of the ingredients is a piece of Alice's sort of queerness that she embodies. I crafted in some broken manacles. The interesting thing about broken manacles is that when you break them, if you listen closely, they'll actually speak to you a bit. So keep that in mind.
Oh.
Yeah.
What do they talk about?
Third day. Yeah.
Does that change often?
I don't. I mostly was breaking them these past few days, and they were kind of angry about it. So
Mm.
I was gonna say you must be hurting them.
Imagine
I
they'd
don't know.
eventually settle into a routine. If you ever talk to like my grandpa, it'll be like, "Hey, grandpa, how was your day?" He was just like, "Well, I watched sports and then I took a nap." Well, I read. Like, all right, great. I'm sure the broken manacles are just like, "Yep, was that here?" And I saw some stuff. Or I took a nap.
All right, Henry.
And then I also added into it a burnt page from a book of law. Yeah.
That's very edgy.
I was really going for edge.
Nice
on that
touch.
one. That one actually kind of blew up a little bit, and there was
Oh.
some problems. I was pretty upset about it at the time, so I had to go grab a catalyst to help it out. And then I added a power source of nice cold metal heart to fuel it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Does anyone want to try it?
To try crime.
Yeah.
Well, I'm intimately familiar with crime.
Maybe Henry then?
Yeah, I'll try. I'll give it a shot. How does it work?
Right. You have to make sure that you say something. It was, I think you have to say I'm up to no good, and
Okay.
touch it.
Okay, should I do that here or should we do that somewhere? Like, I don't want to accidentally.
No, it's kind of fragile, so.
Oh, okay, yeah. Mm-hmm. All right, so I will. Should I touch? Okay, so I'll just reach out a finger and gently, like, put one finger on the device and
Mhm.
say, "I am up to no good."
All right. So it will activate because it is a magical object of power. And Corey, why don't you describe basically what it does? So we know its level of effect.
Yeah. It's level 3, right? And then
Yes, it's a level 3 object. Yep.
Okay. So when it activates, the main thing that it'll do is it'll change your emotional state in such a way that you're dispositioned strongly towards crime.
Oh, yeah. She's just sort of like, kind of rolls her shoulders a little, and she's just like, we should go out.
We'll also have to, we've got to roll a dice. So either Alice or Henrietta can do
Oh,
this.
yeah, Henry, you can do it because you used it.
So
Okay.
roll a d10.
I will. I'm going to roll my red d10 because it's crime. It's my crime dice. Oof. A 2.
Which
Henry.
which did we set the depletion roll to?
2.
0 to 2.
Yeah.
Did it work?
This cost me 100 crystal orbs.
So it works, but it flares up with this magical energy, which settles into Henrietta, and then all of the glitter, the sort of oomph that was on this magical item fades.
Oh.
Alice, I think you should get a despair for this.
Yes.
Oh boy.
Oh.
Your first powerful magic item, and it
You
depletes on its
Killed
first
part
use.
of my heart.
I'm so sorry. Honey, how much do I owe you? Like, I can't believe I broke it.
Just, Alice, I'm sorry. Henry has a history of ruining everything she touches.
Oh my god. That is not even true. In this exact instance, I guess it's sort of true.
It's definitely. Look at what you did.
I didn't mean to. I just touched it. I didn't know.
I guess you're not pure of heart enough to accept crime.
Well, I guess I'm not the one who actually performed the crime. but I was an accomplice.
I wouldn't have broken it.
Well, I guess you should have touched it then.
I would like to introduce Shift here, if I may. And I am going to offer Alice a joy from this shift, as when the energy sort of sinks into Henrietta and the item depletes, the contraption that you have built starts like whirling as like a cloud of disconnected gears and clockwork mechanisms, and then it sort of reforms into the shape of a lock and the shape of a key, but you can tell that the key doesn't fit the lock. They're mismatched, and then they sort of stream directly towards you and impact you in the chest. You can feel like an explosion of like blood actually sprays out from Alice.
I scream.
As they sink in and lodge Iron Man like in your heart.
Uh,
They're not supposed to do that.
What I say ruins everything she touches.
Oh, be helpful instead of Starkey.
I think this is good, though.
Is it?
When you look
okay?
down, when
You're
you look down,
bleeding.
the wound has like healed. It sort of was just temporary, and you could feel them sort of worming their way into your heart, but you now kind of feel like a little shard of the essence of crime is quite literally lodged in your heart.
How do you feel?
I feel... I don't know. I kind of like it.
Okay.
I'm good. I'm happy.
Feeling like you might want to resurrect the crime team, dream team.
Yes. Yes, please. I would like to do that.
Henrietta, I have a question for you. Does
Mhm.
Dark Basement have a telephone?
Yeah.
Okay.
That seems like a
Maybe,
reasonable
like,
thing to have.
Behind the old bar.
Yeah, but it's a very old, it's like
Mhm.
on the wall, sort
Yeah.
of like
Is it rotary?
it's a rotary phone.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it could totally even be one of those, like...
Yeah, it's not quite
Yeah.
that old, but it's definitely like, Henry hates making phone calls, not just because she's a millennial, but also because it takes like 20 minutes to
Yeah, and also like not phones are not unknown in Saturnine, but they're not super common either.
Mhm.
Because they're etheric devices. Spirits can like listen in on your phone calls, and they attract ghosts. So
Yeah,
As they would.
I feel like we wouldn't care about a haunting every now and again. It livens up the place to wake
most
up.
houses have ghosts. It's,
Yeah, to
you
have
know,
a weird entity just like, what's the life?
Yeah.
So, since Alice sprayed blood and we were talking about crime,
Yep.
Lucky's just gonna like put his arm around her and wipe some blood from her face. I think this will be a good change.
You know, I'm really for it too. I've been trying to get out of my old roots, do new stuff.
Right. So, Henrietta, from deep inside Alice's house, the deepest you can go in Alice's house, outside in Dark Basement, you can hear the telephone of Dark Basement start ringing. Which is unusual. People don't normally call you.
Maybe it's the wrong number. Are there wrong numbers?
You might pick it up. You might have won a free cruise.
Are there cruises? Actually, you know, that I'm going to go answer it. So she's going to exit Alice's mirror ball probably less gracefully. I
Than
just
Alice herself.
like, yeah, just tumbling out and going oof as like her face just sort of like slides across the floor, and then she tumbles up, like somersaults out of it, and like reaches for the phone on the wall.
You pick it up and there's a foghorn. No.
Oh,
You won a cruise.
crinkle.
No. So you pick it up, and the voice on the other end is like, it's scratchy. It's got that sort of old-timey radio kind of sound to it. It sounds really distant. You can hear a lot of interference. But it is Amelia's voice. And she just says, "It was after me again last night in the Knox. Down by the docks. I'm real scared. I'm at Ophelia's now. But maybe you want to check it out."
Yeah, of course.
And then before you can say much of anything, she hangs up.
Okay.
So where are we going? I say as I drop out of the mirror ball.
I guess. Well, that was Amelia. She was being stalked again. The monster was after her. She said she was at the docks. Right? She said the docks or the Knox.
So she said the Knox down by the docks.
The Knox
so she said
down
both.
by the Knox down by the docks. Just like tonight, like we gotta go, or I gotta go. I guess you don't have to go. I should go. And she just seems sort of like besides herself.
Hey, you can't go by yourself.
Well, I don't want to have to drag.
I know you think this is your thing, and you want to. Henry.
Yes.
You're not going by yourself.
Okay. Thank you.
Alice.
Hey, Alice. You want to go on a little field trip?
Sure, I like a field trip.
There might be crime. I don't know. We'll see how it shakes out. We have to go save my friend. Or rather, save my friend from a thing. She's fine. She's fine. Anyway, I'm worried. Let's go.
I'm up for this.
So you know that the Knox is a neighborhood in the Hollows. So the Hollows district, which is sort of the rundown slum area of the city, which lies along the banks of the river, the narrow Sanyasa River, which crosses through Saturnine. So to get there, you have to first leave Fartown, which of course is Vizsla is where you live, which is partially shifted out of phase. It's kind of almost its own little world that is connected to the rest of Saturnine by a single gate that exits in and out. And into the Hollows is where it connects. So you make your way out to the Hollows, and you are walking down narrow, rundown streets. There's these narrow, crowded tenement buildings. You're near the river, because the Knox sort of lies along the river itself, and she'd said there was a pair of docks that you were headed towards. The river stinks. The river is full of trash and human waste. Like it just, there's like open sewers that run into the river that then run out of the city. In this part, there's other areas that are not bad. That's where the rich people live. Yeah, but here that is not the case. As you are walking down the docks, or down the streets rather, towards the docks, you can see that two individuals sort of step out of an alleyway. You're kind of going down a deserted street and are standing in the street blocking your path.
All right, well, I'm going to tell the girls to wait and walk forward. This is kind of my territory. So I feel more comfortable approaching these like tough people
Yeah.
and then Henry or Alice might. I don't know. Maybe they would be fine with it. But we are in like a shady part of town. But it's one that I know pretty well. So I'm just gonna walk up. Evening.
Yeah, and it's two men, sort of grizzled features, kind of, rough looking, a little bit down on their luck. Slicked hair, very greasy. And they've each got sort of this length of rope that is hanging from their left hand, and their right hand's tucked in a jacket pocket.
Are they both doing the same thing?
Yeah, they're kind of standing like in the same
All right.
same pose.
Creepy.
Yeah. And you get sort of close to them, but when you're about 10 feet away or so, one of them just says, "I wouldn't come any closer. I suggest you just, you and your friends there, give us all your money."
Oh, you picked the wrong person, unfortunately. You see, I don't have any money.
Well, maybe you don't. And he sort of looks you up and down, but then looks back. But I think they do. Like Alice.
well-
Just wave.
In addition, I'm not going to let you near them.
We don't gotta get that close. And he sort of pulls his hand a little bit out of his pocket. Both of them do, and you can see that he's holding a gun.
Nice. Okay, as he does this, then I'm going to immediately use Jolt Mind.
All right, excellent. All right, so Jolt Mind, what level is that?
Level 3.
Level 3. So you're gonna have to spend 3 sorcery
All right.
to activate it. And why don't you tell us what Jolt Mind does?
Cool. Jolt Mind disrupts the mental patterns of a being within short range, and they suffer mental damage in an amount equal to the level of this ability.
Okay, excellent. So you're gonna have to make a roll. So you're gonna be rolling here as you're activating a sorceress power. And so that's automatically, I'm assuming. Does it say that it adds dice or?
+1.
Okay, so you're going to be rolling 2 dice.
Okay.
All right.
Do the cards affect these spells?
They can, yes, that is true. So
I was
if we
curious.
look back, so the colors here are silver and gold. Any magical ability that's tied to the color silver will be enhanced, and any to gold is diminished. That'll usually be listed, so that's more like spells and that sort of thing.
Okay.
All right. What did you roll on the 2 dice?
9 and 7.
9 and 7. Excellent. All right. So you inflict 3 mental injury points to these individuals, which is immediately going to translate into an anguish, which is the
Ooh.
mental equivalent of a wound. So it applies
Mental wound. Holy shit.
Yeah. Yep.
Sticks and stones, man.
So,
Yeah.
Do they like jump at all?
So the person that you do that to like grabs his head and sort of keels over.
Cool.
You could
So
get
as
the-
he
Yeah.
does this, since he had his hand on the gun, does the gun fall and can I grab it?
So that's a good point. He probably does drop it to the ground at his feet. He's like 10 feet away from you, so he's a couple of steps away for sure. The gun does drop. The question is, does it go off? Why don't you roll me a d10?
Don't kill me. I kind of hope it does, just for the drama. 2?
Yeah, two seems like a low probability event. So the gun, like, it drops, it hits the pavement. It's kind of like a revolver, right? So he had it cocked, which is a stupid thing to do.
Yeah, this guy's
Yeah.
Yeah,
Definitely
very
stupid.
poor firearms handling discipline. He drops the gun, and it goes off with a shot It doesn't hit anybody. It probably like ricochets off because just the gun was not aimed.
Right.
But so the other individual sort of is startled a little bit, but pulls out his gun and is swinging it towards you. What's everyone else doing?
Can I put the other person to sleep?
Yeah, if you have, do you have a
Well,
spell, incantation, ability?
Well, so with my weaving, I've got the threads sleep and winter.
Yep.
And I'm wondering if I could like use like the quality of sleep.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's kind of the absences are really confusing because the absences are action, movement, and clarity. But obviously, this guy's not thinking very clearly if he's pulling a gun on random strangers.
Yeah, so the absences are things that you can't have your effect do.
Right.
So, for instance, you couldn't use cold and sleep to make someone move.
Okay.
Or to like transport something, right? Because that would be movement.
Yeah.
And remind me again so for cold and sleep, what are the qualities?
So the qualities of sleep are rest, recuperation, sleep, dreams, nightmare, immobility, and sloth.
Yep, and with cold?
Winter is cold, ice, damage, silence, stillness, endings, and impassivity.
Yeah, so I think trying to make someone like sort of paralyzed and unconscious, right, would be a good effect weaving these. So this is the first time that we've used Weaver aggregates. So the main question is what level of effect you want to go for here, which is going to determine as if it were a spell, the level that you're doing and its sorcery cost and all of that sort of thing.
That is a good question. I should look at the levels because they're sort of like suggestions. It seems.
They are, yeah. So you use them as sort of a guide. Slowing or hindering a creature's movements is level 3.
Okay. Yeah, I guess that's sort of what I wanted. I just want to like sort of like stun him, I guess, like kind of make him stumble or like sort of like disoriented.
Yeah.
Sort of like, but it's also a long distance shot too. These are both touch based abilities, and I think
if you're at a distance, it's going to increase the level that you have to spend.
Okay, can I walk forward a little bit? I guess,
you can. So to movement and acting in the same turn, you can sort of just take a few steps.
Okay.
So I would say here that if you want to like move the whole distance, that you can do that, but that will be your turn, and then next round you could try and touch him and put him to sleep.
Okay. I think I'll take like maybe just a few steps forward, not like right up on him, but still try to cast this.
Okay. So I'm going to say that to try and slow and hinder him, you're going to be spending 4 sorcery.
Okay.
As if it were a level 4. It's going to be a level 3 effect to sort of slow and hinder their movements.
All right.
All right, so you have to spend 4 sorcery points out of your sorcery pool.
Done.
All right. And you are going to roll a dice.
I rolled a 5.
You rolled a 5. Okay. So you reach out. What do you want this to look like when you cast this spell?
Almost like a strange like sort of puff of like, you know, when you can see like your breath when it's like super cold out. I kind of want it to look like that, but like really sort of almost arrow like really pointed, like a cold arrow just like going right to his forehead.
Oh yeah, I can imagine you almost like blowing it out and
just
yeah, and it's slamming into his forehead. And then the frost sort of coruscates over him a little bit, and he is noticeably slowed and hindered. So he is gonna effectively be hindered. So him pulling any actions is gonna be increased in difficulty for him. So your defenses will be better.
Sweet.
All right. What's Alice doing?
Alice is gonna look at her two friends and say, "These people think they're better at crime than we are. That is preposterous. I will not allow that." And Alice is gonna reach back into her hair and she's going to pull out her huge, like 4.5-foot sword.
Alice is going big.
And she's gonna be like, "I haven't used this thing in a while. Is it okay if I just like, are we good with this, Henry and Lucky?" She's gonna like hold up her sword.
Yep, totally fine with this.
Okay, and I'm just gonna like charge in.
Okay, so you'll charge in.
Yeah.
All right, so it's gonna be their turn. The one who is like slowed, it tosses down the rope, which as it lands and hits the ground, the rope starts wriggling and slithering across the pavement towards Lucky and visibly turning into a python, which goes to wrap around your legs. So I am going to need you. So for you, this is going to be a dodge defense action.
Okay. What does that mean?
Okay, so you are going to be making a dodge attempt
Okay.
to basically avoid, getting tangled up by this thing. So dodge, it's like anything else, right? You're going to roll your d10 and you're going to put together a venture, right, to see if you can reduce the difficulty. You don't know what the starting difficulty in this case is. A dodge action, if you want to spend any bene, it is going to come from your movement pool.
Okay.
You may have a skill somewhere that you may be trained in or skilled in dodge. So if you are, you can apply the level of that skill to your venture.
Okay.
So I think
I have running, and I feel like that would apply here.
So running is more like when you're doing movement, trying to go fast.
How about sneaking?
No, so it'll specifically would say
dodge.
Dodge.
It specifically says dodge. Okay, well, I don't have dodge then. Okay.
Yeah, because you can be trained in dodge, resist, and withstand, which are the 3 defenses.
Okay.
Resist or rest.
Yeah.
All right. Well, all I have is my movement then.
Okay. So yes. So you're going to be making a roll if you want to spend any bene. And that's probably a good idea. So you can spend 1 bene out of your movement pool for a venture of 1.
Okay.
So it'll reduce the difficulty by 1.
Okay, I'll do that then.
Okay. So go ahead and make a roll.
6. So +1 is 7?
Yeah, basically. Yeah. So you jump out of the side as this python goes to strike and tangle at you, and it misses.
Okay.
All right. So that is what he does. The second one, who's the one who has taken all of the mental damage, sort of shakes his head a little bit, and he is going to try and pick up his gun. So that's what he is going to do. So he's going to pick up his gun. So what's Lucky going to do?
All right. Let me think about this, because this guy has a gun and he's right in front of me. And I don't have any sorcery points left, which is kind of annoying.
What if you just start singing that Aerosmith song to him?
What
So
Aerosmith song?
JD's got a gun.
I don't think I will do that.
So
No,
you do.
no, okay.
You do, of course, have whatever you have for incantations and ephemera objects.
Yeah.
You have physical attacks you can do. And And of course, you've got 2 rest actions that are just actions that you can use to replenish pools.
Okay, well, and are physical attacks under physicality?
So if you're making a physical attack, it'll do a set amount of damage. So
Okay.
if you're punching, that's a light weapon. It'll do 2 injury.
Okay.
And if you want to improve like the odds that you're going to hit them, you can spend out of your accuracy.
Okay. Okay. Can I kick the gun out of his hand?
Yeah, absolutely.
Great.
Yeah, so in that case, what you'll do is you'll apply your Bene, but instead of applying to the venture, it's to achieve a specific effect.
Okay.
So you can spend 1 accuracy Bene to try and kick it out of his hand, and then you'll roll like you would otherwise.
Okay, that's 6. So
All right.
7.
Yeah, so
Again.
he's picking up the gun, and you kick him in the wrist, and he yells, and he's like, "Fuck!" And like the gun goes flying, and it clatters into the darkness. And he says, "Hey, Jim, I think we better get out of here. These
Jim.
guys are a little bit more trouble than I thought."
I'm sorry, your name is Jim? What kind of stupid made up name is that? Get out of here!
And the guy who had dropped the rope that turned into a snake, who is Jim, says, "That's the name my mama gave me."
Your mom's an idiot. Leave before.
Do you want to rile them up some more, Henry? Just let them go. Why don't you guys leave?
and they limp off into the darkness.
Okay. Did they collect their stuff?
No, there is a dropped gun, and well, the snake kind of like slithers off.
All right, fair enough. But
yeah.
then
But,
I'll pick up that gun.
But there is a gun, kind of got kicked into an alley.
Yeah, I'll take that gun.
Yeah, so it's a medium weapon, so it'll do 4 points of damage.
Nice. Like he has a gun.
Meanwhile, Alice was like charging in, and then everyone with the big sword.
Yeah, she's just sort of like just frozen in place. Like,
Ready, guys. Anytime.
I guess you might want to
Bless.
keep the sword out just in case. You never know.
You
In case
never
we,
know.
Like
No.
mess some people up.
Although, no, I don't think that's a good idea. We don't want to give anybody the wrong idea.
Okay, fair enough. Though, in an ironic twist, rather than partaking in crime, we stopped crime.
By using crime.
Ooh, does the crime get negated then?
Yeah, I definitely think it cancels itself out. I
Is that
say
just
as
a
I put the gun in my
neutralized?
jacket. It's absolutely canceled out. Let's go find your friend.
Okay, great. Well, she's fine. Mostly we need to find she's back at Ophelia's. You know, she's okay. She was just rattled. But I do need to, if that thing is still out here, we need to find it.
What is this thing?
I have no idea, and I'm gonna find out, and I'm going to have a very stern conversation with it and or kill it. So
What if I'm the thing?
I don't think you're the thing, sweetie.
Oh, okay.
Do you feel a strange urge to stalk and or consume me? Yeah, so you're not the thing.
Okay.
Okay, cool. Let's go.
All right. I'll go.
All right. So you make your way down to the docks, and it's not like a working docks. It's not like a big, commercial traffic or anything. Basically, in one part of the docks, there's like a single rickety wooden pier that juts out into the river that has a couple of small, like, dories essentially tied to it that locals use. Although you're not sure you would want to eat anything fished out of this part of the river, but maybe they do something else. And so it's dimly lit. There's like flickering street lights that some of which look deliberately broken out. There is big pools of darkness going down the wharf and the sound of the river rushing past it with garbage like knocking into the wooden posts.
Okay, gross.
I think I read about something in the shadow that was like this. The river stinks. It was a Greek thing.
Uh,
Stinks?
not quite right.
Are you sure it wasn't Stinks? I think it might have been
thought it
Stinks.
was.
I thought it was Styx, but now that I think about it, that sounds wrong.
Yeah, see,
It
Stinks
stinks-
makes so much more sense.
It
Think of all the
stinks to
dead
be-
people floating in it.
Well,
Mhm.
also it stinks to be dead, so you'd be like, "Oh, this is garbage." I
Ooh.
was having just a nice day, and then I got hit by a bus.
I think you need to apologize to Alice.
Did we
I'm sorry.
apologize for breaking part of my heart?
Mm.
Alice, I had no idea that would happen, and I'm so sorry. Are you still okay? Is your heart feeling okay? Do we need to
It
go to
feels
a Missoula
invigorated.
hospital?
Oh, I don't. No, I think I'm okay. I
Okay.
really like whatever's out there. I want to find out what it does.
Okay.
You like it?
I didn't say that.
I think you. Well, let's.
We'll pretend you didn't.
So, is there anything like out of place, like as we enter, like besides the like pretend, like intentionally broken lights and like sort of the sounds
Yeah.
of? Is there anything like weird?
So now that you mention it, I am going to give you one joy as I introduce a shift. So standing, or not standing, but on kind of the entrance to the pier, there is a lamppost. This lamppost, all of its neighbors are busted out and dark and flickering. But this one light is shining brightly down on the lamppost itself. And the entire lamppost is papered over with advertisements. Like, paper, pasted on advertisements. And from a distance, you don't see what they say, but they actually all look identical. There's hundreds of these overlapping each other, covering this one post, and they all appear to be identical.
Well, I'm definitely gonna go up to that weird.
Same. I want to rip one off. I'm just gonna
I'm not gonna do anything quite that violent. Just
pull it off and look at it.
look
right.
at one
so
as
when
it is.
Yeah, so when you go up, it's a paper sign. It's hand, or well, not hand,
Is
but
it a zine?
it's a sort of, yeah. It's definitely like an illustrated advertisement. That's what I meant to say. And it has basically some men and women illustrated in silhouette, and they look very much like burlesque dancers. And there is a cocktail glass illustrated on it, and written on it is the title of the presumably the establishment, the Theater of Scripture.
I fold it up very carefully and put it in my pocket.
Well, is this a sign? Do we need to go to?
I mean, technically.
Okay.
I do one of these to her arm,
walk right into that one. Just I'm gonna look around just to see if I see any, because Amelia mentioned she saw sort of just a void, which sounded almost like a lacuna. Is that what they're called? Like this just void beings?
Yes, there are people like a lacuna that are basically literally a doorway into other places. Yeah.
Is there any weird void creatures about?
So when you look around, what you notice is you don't think they were there before, but there is a building in behind you, and on the roof of, it's like a flat top building, and on the roof, all lined up, staring at you, are 9 white doves. And they're just like, they've like, when you look at them, they sort of puff up their feathers a little bit, ruffle them, and coo.
I coo back. I won't actually coo because I'll just embarrass myself. There you go. Yeah. I can't roll my R's, so
Kind of like Henry's doing now. Like he's gonna
and
be
so they like cock an eye one way and then the other as they look at you.
Listen, I don't mean to make weird assumptions, but the owner of the bookshop we went to the signing at was an angel, right?
yes. What does that got to do with anything?
I mean, would she have some kind of familiar floating around? 9 of them?
I don't think. I don't even. Do angels need familiars?
Just throwing that out there.
You know, I guess that's, yeah.
We never heard anything about that evening.
That was a sort of way of.
But this place is also really fucking weird, just
Yeah.
to begin with.
You're
so.
telling me. I'm just going to wave at the birds. Hello, birds. How's your
Great
evening?
strategy.
And the birds all like turn and sort of march along the edge of the street and then hop off the edge and sort of spread their wings like in unison, and they swirl a little bit and then they all fly in a line back the street you came.
All right. That's
Here we
probably
go.
not a good thing.
No, we're going to go. We're following the birds.
Can we follow the birds?
Yeah, they're actually flying low and slow enough, sort of weaving around, that you can follow them.
Are they going like around buildings and stuff?
They're like down at street level, like they're flying almost at just at like head height and weaving down the street.
I'd like to use one of my ephemera to help our chase after them.
Okay, excellent. What ephemera is this?
I want to use my arthropod feet so I can climb on
Excellent.
things.
Excellent. So
Yeah.
as you pull out your ephemera, which I could imagine you sort of, I'm imagining almost like they're like roll up flats that you can like tuck in a bag.
Yeah.
Because they're disposable, they're single use, right? So you pull them out of the package and like unfurl them and slip them over your shoes, over your existing shoes. Why don't you describe what happens when you activate your arthropod feet?
So on each of my feet, these 6 tiny jointed appendages, like insect legs, sort of like pop out. And now I can use it to climb up walls and cling to ceilings because they're super strong.
So
Didn't know
Alice
you
is
could do
now
that,
like
Alice.
walking across the side
Yeah.
of the building.
I'm just gonna like take whatever shortcuts I can to help keep an eye on wherever these birds are going.
All right.
All
Well, if they're going fairly fast, I will grab Henry's arm and like pull her along. I
Well,
assume we have to like run or speed walk now that Alice has her crazy feet.
but like meanwhile, like while Henry is watching Alice do this, she's humming something that sounds suspiciously like the Spider-Man theme.
But without violating copyright.
Indeed.
All right. So as you follow, we are going to take a quick break so that we can add Alex, the birthday boy, into the stream. So we will be back in just a couple of minutes, folks. faces. So welcome, Alex. Welcome back, and happy birthday.
Thank you.
All right, and why don't you just quickly remind our viewers, who do you play, Alex?
I play Emma Elizabeth, the I forgot my fucking character sentence because it's not just a class.
Something
Established stoic goetic who cages adversaries. I don't even know what half that shit means.
you missed my great Emma Elizabeth pun earlier.
I am sorely disappointed. I'll have to catch on with you.
That's all right. I got to say that she was cagey.
So good.
Good. I love it.
So Emma is rich and wealthy,
And awful.
and she summons things, and she puts enemies in a magic cage and siphons their energy from them.
And she carries them around in this little golden bird cage, is handcuffed to her left wrist.
Yeah.
And she displays them like prized possessions.
Yep. All right. So we will come across as Emma Elizabeth shortly, but meanwhile, everyone else is chasing these doves, these 9 identical white doves that are flying down a street. And so they then sort of veer into a square. And when they do, when you sort of round the corner into the square, you can see standing in it are 9 identical women. They're pale complected, dark hair. They have these white gowns that sort of fade into, or transition into a red color around the hem. And when you look really close, you can see that the hems of their dresses flow and root into the ground around them like trees.
So Henry and I were running, but we come to a dead stop.
Like a screaming
like,
stop.
what the hell?
Yeah, and Henry sort of forgetting herself mutters, just a lucky. It must be really hard for them to get around like that.
I can't believe that's what you're concerned about.
Also, this is very creepy.
Oh shit.
You're creeped out.
What about Alice, who is running with these insect feet digging into the sides of buildings?
I think as soon as she sees them, she's like, "Why, hello there."
So the women speak with one voice. So they open their mouths and speak in unison, which
Because
gives
of
this
course they do.
interesting echo effect. Of course. Look, it wouldn't be on brand for me if this didn't happen.
No, this is great.
Alice is like, "Which one of you is actually talking right now?"
Yes. So from 9 voices, they say, "Welcome. We are the 9 sisters. We see much in the hollows. Perhaps you need guidance."
You could ask them about that thing.
Are you threatening or trying to help?
We offer assistance first and foremost. We like to be helpful. There's a distinct pregnant pause.
Helpful for whom and or what, though? Anyone?
We like to be helpful for those who are deserving and who offer us suitable payment.
What kind of payment?
We see much, but we feel less.
Well, I'm wearing lipstick that is literally called Feelings, so I am happy to share some with you. If that doesn't somehow have a terrible consequence.
How does one share their feelings?
Well, lucky when two people have.
No, sorry, that was not in character. Oh.
You just gotta talk it out.
No, I really want to know, like, how does this transaction occur?
Mm.
Damn.
Well, I need help. There's something hunting people like me. I'm sure you know what I am.
And they're standing sort of in a almost like semicircle, right, in the middle of the square. And as soon as you guys entered, the doves sort of dispersed and landed near one of the 9 women. And you can see these red sort of root-like tendrils that sort of writhe out of the square and attach to each of the doves. And then the doves get sucked into the tendrils, and then the tendrils sort of root back into the ground. And you can see their dresses unroot from the square, and they sort of float forward towards you. We can sense, indeed, there was another like you here earlier tonight.
Yes, she said she's being stalked by something. Do you know what it is? Is it you?
No, not me. And they sort of laugh with this really unnerving chuckle, which starts, instead of in unison, it starts with the one on the far left and then spreads out in a wave to the one on the far right. But then it slowly ends and then ripples back. So it's like a laughing version of doing the wave.
I love it.
That's really fucked up. I love it.
Personally,
so much.
yeah, I love it. Henry's just sort of like, okay. Did you see what was hunting her?
We did.
Was it me?
And the laughter happens again.
Alice, we told you it's not you.
I just want to make sure.
That's really sweet of you, Alice.
So, what would you offer in payment for knowledge?
Well, you said you can't feel things, correct?
No, we have trouble.
I can't imagine why.
Could I offer you a happy memory as payment?
Yes, of course. This is a most treasured payment.
I really want to help my friends, so I will I'll like reach out my hand, I guess, like palm up.
Yeah.
And sort of like hold it out to them.
Yeah.
And I don't know how this transaction will work.
So one of them, they all kind of float a little bit closer, but one in particular sort of leaves and comes and takes your hand in hers. And she has very smooth, almost porcelain white skin, which is very cold to the touch. It actually feels almost like it is actually made out of porcelain. And you can actually see, when you look really close, you can see very fine cracks in the skin. And when she takes your hand in hers, and you feel this strange sensation, and when you look, you can actually see that coming out of her skin are very, very, very fine, almost cilia-like red tendrils, which sort of sink into your skin. It doesn't hurt, it's not painful, but it is definitely an odd sensation.
Mm-hmm.
So why don't you tell us about the memory that you offer?
The memory that I offer to you is a fairly consistent memory, one that I am happy to share with you. It's of my friends and I just gathered together at our favorite diner, enjoying a nice meal and laughing and talking and just enjoying each other's company. Those friends are you guys, just in case that wasn't clear.
I didn't think you had any other friends, but cool.
Wow.
So as you're talking and describing this memory, it's coming up in your mind, right? And you can see it almost like watching a movie. But as you are talking it and visualizing it, it is fading from your mind. It is like literally disappearing as you share it until at the end you don't remember what memory you shared.
I'm sorry. Did that work? Was that good enough?
That was very touching. I think you should take a despair for that.
Yeah, that's fair.
That is really sad.
That's very sad.
This is a very sad moment
Jeez.
for your character.
Yeah.
Of course, for our viewers, joy and despair, as I give them to the characters, are one of the means that work sort of like experience. So you need to gain both joy and despair as a character in order to advance. And in fact, you need to gain them in equal measure, because in order to spend them, you must combine a joy with a point of despair to form a point of crux, which you can use to improve your character.
I have so much despair right now. It's
you are sort of accumulating some despair. I gave you some joy earlier, but you've had lots of sad happening.
so much sad. It's on brand for Henry to be a very despairing character. So it's all fine.
All right. But yes, so then they begin to describe to you the events that they saw. And they do indeed describe a figure an awful lot like a lacuna. But they say that it wasn't so much a hole into another place, but a hole into some sort of absence of place that this creature pertained. But this creature did not come of its own volition. They said that the person who put up the signs that you were admiring from the theater of scripture, who they presume was an employee, but they're not entirely sure, came with a box and actually put up these signs after releasing this creature to hunt down your friend. But when it was unsuccessful, the creature came back and returned to the box that it was released from. And then this person left.
Do you know? Can you describe the person who did this?
Yes, a man, not a Vizsla. Perhaps not a man, perhaps a thought form. But was doing menial work, but was wearing a jacket emblazoned with the theater's logo.
Thank you. This I think will help me find what I'm looking for. Okay,
What
bye.
happened to those birds?
I feel like the birds were waiting for us. Were you waiting for us? Were you looking for us?
We are where we are needed.
Well, that's just a nice sentiment.
And then the 9 of them float away, but they split and go in different directions.
Keeping an eye on all the corners and hollows. They were weird. So, looks like we have someone physical to punch, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't make that assumption that fast.
I'd like to punch something. I'm still feeling the effects of that crime gadget.
It's true.
Yeah,
You're still very much in a predisposed to crime mood.
It's just like really just shook up.
You can punch me if you need to get it out, but we're not going to do anything too rash tonight.
Well, I basically always have this inkling to punch you, so I was I generally ignore it. You have a very, very punctual face.
I'm not even going to comment on that. And I'm going to pull the flyer from my pocket.
Yeah,
And check the address, I guess.
Yeah, it's got an address. It says 1436 Herringbone Way. But the herringbone isn't like together like the pattern. It's like herring and bone.
Okay. Anybody up for some clubbing?
Yeah, I feel like I need to get some energy out. Also, did we go to the diner last week? I honestly don't remember.
That's a memory easily made up. Don't worry.
That's so cruel.
No, I don't mean made up like fake. I mean like we can have that same experience again very easily.
I understand what you're saying. This is like one time that Lucky wasn't being kind of a bastard.
No, he means we can go do that again anytime. Kind of pat her on the head.
Well, to the theater, I suppose.
I think you have the wrong idea about what this establishment is.
I mean, people got naked in plays. I mean, did you not see Daniel Radcliffe's play?
You are really hung up on this Harry Potter thing, aren't you?
Listen, Draco. I'm not hung up on anything. I just think it would be cool. But also there are some serious flaws.
Alice, are you going to do the weird feet thing the whole way?
I mean, I can put them away if we want, but
no, you are free to do whatever you want.
I just like keep going up the wall.
Amazing. Right.
Spider Alice, Spider Alice.
Okay, we're going to the club.
All right. So you make your way. You twist and turn through the hollows. Lucky probably is the one who leads you because Lucky knows the hollows pretty well. And so you make your way to Herringbone Way, and 1436 actually looks like a theater. The outside of it actually has like a marquee, which has like performer names and like band names and things like that listed out, and there is like a ticket seller that is basically taking money at the door for entrance.
I think we should try and steal our way in.
Why don't we just do it the honest way?
Are you going to pay for your own ticket way in?
Maybe I am.
That would be a first.
They're only asking for 5 glass orbs.
Oh,
right.
Yeah. That's fine. It's
like 50 cents.
Okay.
Then in a shocking display of generosity, I will just pay for everybody.
Oh.
Go in.
All right.
I get the glass orbs.
Yeah. So you enter in, you go through like a lobby sort of area and then into the main club part. And imagine a cross between when you see those like 1920s jazz bars, like there's lots of little tables, right? There's like red velvet and stuff like that, but the velvet's very worn, like it's thin, it's not fuzzy anymore, it's been like worn totally smooth. There's little like lanterns or lamps on like each of the tables to give a little bit of light. And there's a stage at the front, which is where the performers are. But it is like a cross between a jazz bar,
like a cabaret.
And who has seen the intro, like the club scene of the first Blade movie, with like the EDM like dance music?
I have.
Like,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's been a
Yeah.
really long time, but yeah,
Yeah.
I know what you're talking
Yeah. And so there's like a packed dance floor with lots of like gothy 90s leather. And I mean, because it's like a vampire bar, right?
Right.
So it's got that sort of, the aesthetic is somewhere in between those two things, which
Okay.
should make no sense and be totally jarring, but for whatever reason it works. Because I said it does.
Yeah, I was about to say that's your power as the game master. Like I say, it
GM
works.
It's an aesthetic that works.
So it does.
Yeah, so it is like a weird, almost like EDM jazz that is playing,
Nice.
and there is gyrating dancers on stage in various stages of disrobement. But you know, there's like pasties and things like that. So, as we said during our break, you know, you got to cover up them female presenting nipples. Apparently, that's the worst thing ever.
So offensive. I can't even. When I shower, I cover those up.
I can't even look.
Can't even look. Just like, oh.
Yes,
Oh my
Emma
God.
in chat, there are indeed sequins.
Yes. Excellent.
There is glitter everywhere.
Oh no, not the herpes of crafts.
Yeah. Emma, why don't you tell us a little bit? How long have you been hanging out here? Is this your first time at this club, or do you come semi-regularly?
I think I come semi-regularly.
So the wait staff seems to know you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And if my wonderful friends notice me, they would probably see me coming out of whatever the fuck a flirt tube looks like. They see me coming out of one of those with my birdcage torture device in one hand and a cigarette in the other, just clearly having a fucking ball.
Yes. So for people who are unfamiliar with Saturnine, some bars have things known as flirt tubes. And so there are separate rooms that you can go into where there are these, tubes that project out of the wall that you can speak into, which sort of hook you up with a random person in one of the other rooms at the other end of whatever tube you happen to pick. And you can sort of sample and chat people up. So even if you're shy and a little introverted, you can talk to people without being in the same physical space. And, you know, if you hit it off, then maybe you can arrange to meet in the bar in like meet space, as it were, a little bit later.
Okay, if I spot Emma Elizabeth first, I will just light up in glee and like not in nice glee. And I'm going to say to Henry and Alice, I will be right back. Just march right on over to her and be like, hey,
Hey,
friend.
this seems just like the place I'd find you.
I was going to say the same of you. Somehow I'm just not surprised. Are you really this lonely? You could have just come to see us.
Well, I do get enough of you sometimes. I know the people who have a controlling interest here, and it pays to keep an eye on these things. You know, there are a lot of them. I gesture at the little people, and not quite so many of us. So it does pay.
So you come here to feel powerful.
I come here to make sure that we keep our heads. And also, I gesture at some male dancer in an advanced stage of disrobement. I am very entertained.
To each their own. All right, well. Listen, we ran into some weird shit, and you might be able to point out the person we're looking for since you're intimately familiar with the club.
Okay. What is it?
Come on over. And just do the same thing. I'll just kind of put my arm around her and just really bother her. And bring her over to Henry and
I make sure to blow all of my smoke right in your face.
You bitch. Look who's here.
Oh my god, why are you in this place?
This is unexpected. We're at the. Henry's at the bar. Are you at the bar?
We are now.
I was
You're at the
imagining M. Elizabeth at a private table.
Yeah. Same, like, right? If you have if you know people with controlling interest, you have like a private table, a VIP space.
She would have the money to pay extra to go sit behind the velvet ropes with all the I was gonna say with all the celebrities, but this isn't really that kind of place.
Yeah. I imagine this conversation happened like quickly enough that Henry and Alice are still standing like in the periphery, like around the bar, waiting for their opportunity to slip in and be like, "Hey, excuse me,
right? Yeah.
One alcohol, please."
So a thought form comes over. So it's a person, but also not a person. But it looks like a person. Comes over to take your order. They have a variety of alcohols. What would suit your pleasure?
Something that tastes like a stormy night would be great.
Oh, I have just the thing.
I'm sure.
That'll be 20 glass orbs.
Fair enough.
All right. And it looks sort of expectantly at everyone else.
I gotta think of something good. Hang on.
Alice will sort of like come over with this really like tough look she's sort of taken on since we got into the club, and she's like, give me 2 shots the thing that tastes like a unsettled flame heart.
Oh,
she's like really putting it on.
Yeah.
She like
I've got just the thing for you.
She whispers over to Henry and is like, "Am I doing good? Did I do it right?"
Yeah, I'm sure it's fine. If you don't like it, I'll drink it, or Lucky will drink it.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, no problem.
That'll be 50 glass orbs.
Okay. I'll pass the money over.
I'm wondering if M. Elizabeth says the usual.
That is actually exactly what I was going to say. I was going to lean into the bar, drop 1 crystal orb on the counter, and say the usual.
Yeah. Okay.
And for the record, it tastes like misery.
Oh, I've got just the thing as I'm going to describe all of your drinks.
Yes.
Lucky?
Haven't thought of anything good yet.
Lucky asked for a beer.
No, I hate beer. I don't like beer. I don't want beer. I'm trying to think about what he would want.
The essence of
Okay, no. I've got something, but he's gonna lean in and whisper it to the barkeeper, and I'll message it to you real quick, Dan.
Okay. Perfect. So the thought form bustles off, and you wait for a while, you're sort of chit-chatting, and then comes back. Plonks down in front of Henrietta and says that it is the darker than dark and stormy.
Perfect.
And it's like the glass literally inside it is like a roiling thundercloud. And like occasional lightning sort of discharges off of the drink into the liquid that's accumulating at the bottom as it rains.
Thank you very much. This looks just delightful.
In front of Alice, sort of comes out and puts down a small goblet. So like basically like a snifter glass. Like it looks like a wine glass, but it's about the size of a shot glass. And has this bottle that he uncorks, and it looks like a wine bottle. and pours this like very red liquid into it. It's a little bit thick when it pours out, and it almost glows. Like, it is redder than red. It is the most red thing you could possibly have seen. And it does look sort of like liquid fire as he pours it into the glass.
I'll hesitantly sort of be like, oh, I think this is mine. I ordered this.
Seems you did, dear.
He plucks down a glass and pours from this like dusty looking old bottle in front of Emma Elizabeth, and then comes over to Lucky with a drink in sort of a fine cut tumbler. What do we think this looks like?
A gradient, maybe?
Yeah, like it goes from sort of golden hued on top into like an almost black gradient at the bottom.
Sounds right.
It's like a whiskey, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. And slides it across your mutual adoration. So the darker than dark and stormy. Alice's drink is red wine, but it is wine made of the red. It is bottled in the red and carries the essence of that sun, which the red sun, the realm under the red sun, is a home of demons of incredible destructive potential. Drink a little, and the endorphin rush that accompanies the slight intoxication is a very interesting experience. Drink too much, and you will literally feel the lining of your esophagus disintegrating. So it is a drink best consumed in moderation. Emma Elizabeth, you are drinking death. It is quite literally the distilled essence of someone's actual death, which you experience a tiny fraction of when you drink it.
It's that corpse juice from the tomb that was.
Yes. Oh my god, the mummy smoothie. Yes.
Yes, it's
Mummy
this like
milkshake,
really
yeah.
like dark reddish brown kind of
Yes.
goopy liquid.
I bet it stinks.
Oh, it reeks.
The Jamba juice from before time.
I'm sorry. I asked for a ginseng root shot in this, and this smells like literal death.
Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
Here's
Blink.
I guess we have to keep an eye out now for our person of interest.
Yeah, how many thought forms are in this establishment?
Well, it's
So-
everyone who works here.
Probably, yeah, and this would be something you would just know. Visually, when you just look at a thought form, distinguishing a thought form from a full, it always feels so weird to describe them this way, right? Because it is a person, but technically they don't have a soul or free will, and they are created for the express purpose of doing menial labor. So yes, classist as shit. So basically, like all the people doing a lot of these serving jobs, depending on the place, like a good establishment, the waiters are probably like people. You know, like imagine like when you go to France, right? And waiters get a good wage and it's a respectable job. But places like this where it's a little bit lesser, probably a lot of the lowest level workers are all thought forms.
So really, we're gonna have to Scooby-Doo this and figure out who would want to target
Do we know? Wait, do we really know that that's what's going on?
Maybe. I mean, it's just really suspicious and kind of weird.
What exactly are we looking for again?
My friend is being stalked by something that she thinks wishes her ill, and that thread has sort of led us here to this establishment. That maybe
So let her deal with it.
she can't. And also this is my favor to her, so
Believe it or not, Emma Elizabeth, some people like helping others.
I can't imagine.
I know you can't, but try. Do try, dear.
Sorry, I'm trying to think of what to follow that with because it was very good.
So you all, and since Emma Elizabeth comes here a little bit more regularly, this isn't really a place that many Vizsla seem to come to. You're not the only Vizsla in the place, but most people, I mean, they're human, but they don't appear to be Vizsla. There might be some Zealots in the crowd, which are people who have like a magic ability that they're really, really, really good at, but it's super narrow focused. And then the other people, I guess, are like normal people with no real magic.
Mm.
We don't know if this person was a Vizsla, right? We just know they were someone.
Yeah.
We don't
it
know.
was
We don't really know what's following Amelia.
That's right.
Yeah, it's just a weird void-like thing. But unlike a lacuna, it sort of goes nowhere. And it was brought here by someone. For some reason.
Does anyone want to go dance?
All right.
Let's go.
I'm curious if Alice means on the dance floor or on the stage.
I assume the dance floor.
That's kind of what I assumed too. But you know, Alice has got some things going on. So
Crime team, dream team. We'll go dance together.
Okay.
Oh, but Alice, let's sort of. Do you remember those old like spy movies? We could try to do it like that, where we're trying to piece together, you know, people from the crowd while
We
we're
dance with them?
dancing.
Oh,
Yes. And also while we dance with them and dancing in general. It'll still be like a weird crimey thing. Spying is wrong, right?
It's easy. Let's put it.
It is
that way.
easy, and it's crime.
Alice will walk up one of the pillars onto the roof and then hold out her hand to Lucky.
I
don't
Right.
know. I thought this would be a good dance. It's different.
You're right. If you want to draw attention to us, this is a great idea.
Right. We're not supposed to.
You think you can?
I'll take them off.
I'm sorry, I thought you were gonna say, so you think you can dance?
No, I really. No. Don't take them off. Don't take them off. This is cool. Let's try this. I want to see what happens.
We draw attention. The others take a look at everyone else.
Perfect. Let's do it.
I'm gonna lead Lucky to the dance floor.
On the ceiling.
On the ceiling.
Nice.
All right. So are you guys going to try and create a bit of a stir and a distraction then? That's kind of what you're going for here?
I want people looking at us so that...
Can we do like an Addams Family kind of tango?
Sure.
You know, like...
But one of you is on the ceiling?
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like the Spider-Man kiss kind of thing?
Yeah,
Hanging
exactly.
down
Yes.
and
Her
tangling.
hair is like
Yeah.
straight down.
My hair's in the way a whole bunch.
Yes.
All right, so this is Spider Alice Tango. All
Yes.
right.
Spider
Excellent.
Alice Tango.
The Spider Alice Tango.
Tango.
The SAT.
Give me PTSD.
All right. So why don't you, I want to see how good this distraction is, how well that you perform. So we're gonna make a check here. In terms of the pool that you could draw on for Bene, I think movement makes the most sense here.
Yeah.
Like your physical dexterity, the show that you're sort of putting on here, and try not to, trip and fall off the ceiling or something.
Yeah.
You've got a partner, so Lucky's helping you. So I think we'll have Alice make this roll, but Lucky will be an asset in this case. So
Always an asset.
You can add that to your venture. Alice, do you have any skills that might apply here to your dancing and not falling?
Climbing.
I was just gonna say you are skilled in climbing, so sure, why not?
I'm like getting on a lot of the furniture and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm taking this around on as much stuff as we can go on.
Okay, perfect. All right, so you've got a venture of 2, and that's before spending any bene or sorcery or sortilege or anything like that.
Can I spend 1 movement bene and then also use a sortilege to make it that much more inspiring?
Yeah, so you'll spend the movement bene. So you've got a venture of 3, and then you're going to spend the sortilege to roll an extra dice in this case as you apply your magical ability to make this oh so extra.
Okay. I got a 4 and an 8.
A 4 and an 8. Okay. So yes, you are dancing up a storm as you basically do the Christopher Walken, like dancing on the ceiling video, right? As you're walking up the walls and everything. And you are definitely creating a stir, and all eyes are on you. So what are Henrietta and Emma Elizabeth doing?
Henry wants to look and see if there's anyone not looking at them, but instead looking at me. Thank you.
Oh, yes. Good point. Okay. So this would be perception related in terms of your pool. Do you have any skills that are associated with like your perception or surveillance or anything like that?
I have searching.
Searching, perfect. All right, so are you going to spend any bene out of your perception pool?
Yeah, I'll spend a perception bene.
Okay, so you spend a bene out of your pool, so you get a venture of 2. So you're reducing the unknown difficulty by 2.
Okay.
Go ahead and make a roll.
Ooh, I got an 8.
You got an 8. Perfect. All right. So you are surveying the room, and in the corner, sort of in a shadowed corner, sitting in what appears to be a private booth, is a very large man. As in, like, very big. Kingpin-esque. He's got like a buttoned waistcoat that is like straining at the buttons over his prodigious belly. He has like large gold rings and heavy gold chains on. He's mopping his brow with a damp handkerchief. As you can see, he's like kind of sweating profusely. He's got a large plate of food that he is consuming, and his eyes are locked on you. But then as soon as you like look at him and he sees that you've noticed, he like quickly looks away to talk to someone else that is in the booth that he is seated in.
Well, that's not suspicious at all.
Oh, yeah.
Say that out louder.
Yeah, more like muttering. Henry's gonna sort of tap Emma's shoulder and gesture discreetly in the gentleman's direction. Like, do you know who that is?
Do I know who that is? Do I know who has that private table?
You sure
Correct.
do.
Hey.
That's the owner's booth.
Oh dear.
The place is owned by a brother and sister, Hiram and Nadine Ire. And that very large man is most definitely Hiram.
Hiram, and what is the sister's name?
Nadine.
I relay that information. And if I know the person who owns this place, then I know that guy.
You do indeed know that
Do I know
guy.
anything particular about him, or just that he exists and he owns the place?
Yeah, so Hiram and Nadine are pretty wealthy, but in the sense of like slumlord wealthy.
Okay.
They own this place. This is their only establishment. They're known to have a lot of interest in religious matters. They collect a lot of like religious texts and artifacts of various gods and deities. Almost like they're like lifelong searchers, after the divine. Hiram is a man of immense appetite, quite clearly. Nadine, on the other hand, is a little bit more of an ascetic. She's, she fasts a lot, and that sort of thing. So she's very thin, but not necessarily in a fit kind of way. You know what I mean?
Mm.
And she's tall and overly thin, whereas he's like short and overly wide.
Yeah.
So they're almost exact opposites of one another. They're not twins, but they're relatively close in age.
Just relay all of that to Henrietta, as I make sure to be conspicuously watching the spider dance over here.
Right. And of course, because this is the Hollows, not everyone in the Hollows is a criminal, but there is an inordinate amount of criminality in the Hollows.
I mean, we're here.
What's that? Yeah, you're here. Exactly. You know that Hiram is relatively tightly connected with Fen Shepherd, who is the Garant of this neighborhood, of the Knox. So a Garant is basically like a sheriff who is the law for a given neighborhood within a district. So they... legal matters are actually not codified citywide. Every neighborhood has its own rules and laws and a sheriff who like rules it. There's some citywide enforcement too from the Deathless Triumvirate, but it's really delegated to a very local level.
So this place is Wild Goddamn West, correct?
Yeah, and Fen, whereas like there's a lot of corrupt Garants in the city who like basically like run protection rackets, but they at least try and hide it and call it taxes. Fen like straight up runs a protection racket. He has like thugs who go and it's like, real nice bodega you got here. Be a real shame if it burnt to the ground.
Actually, is that a thing we can do? Because I have a very particular bodega that
Crime.
That was an aside.
I relay all of that again to Henrietta, and I also add that that's the best place about that place. I've been drinking. That's the best reason for me to come here, is that no matter what they're up to, they can't touch me.
Well, so you say that, but is there any reason why he would be staring at me hungrily like I was a delicious meal that he might want to partake in?
You, perhaps, but that's why I come here typically alone.
But
what's your friend doing that she's attracted all this attention?
If I tell you, you can't spread this around.
I can't spread this around in the way that she's fucking people or that she's sacrificing people to some...
No, neither. Oh, gosh. Goodness.
What else could you possibly have to hide?
I was like lean in and like whisper, well, she has that virus where she vomits monsters.
Oh, that's disgusting.
Yeah. Henry
Oh.
blushes, like, just.
Oh,
And something has been following her. She thinks it's with the intent to do harm to her. And
I hope whatever it is, it's got a goddamn mop.
okay, let's not be insensitive, Emma Elizabeth.
Fine. So,
But I think that perhaps he can sense that quality in individuals and is perhaps targeting them.
it could be religious. That's really the only thing that motivates this guy, except for money. He uses the money he makes here to buy weird religious shit. And unless one of your friends is going after his sister, that's the only other possible thing he could care about.
I mean, she's homeless. Like, she's and harmless. Like, she wouldn't hurt a fly.
Well, then it's probably religious.
I gotta get to that table.
I can bring you.
Let's go. I feel like we just need to address this head on.
Let's go.
Okay, let's go.
Quick refresher on how to pronounce this guy's name.
Hiram.
Kieran.
Hiram with an H.
Hiram.
Hiram.
Hiram with an H. Okay,
Yeah.
got it.
Hiram Lodge.
All right.
Yes, like Hiram
Hiram.
Lodge.
All right. So we're gonna, I guess, march right the fuck on up.
Yeah.
And I'm going to present Henrietta with
Alice
a
and Lucky, as you're like whirling around the floor, I think you can actually now see like Emma and Henrietta like beelining for this booth in the like a back dark corner of the theater.
Looks like they figured it out.
Mm,
They'll hop down onto the ground.
Can I catch her?
Yes.
Absolutely,
Yes.
you can catch her.
It's the perfect like ending. Like, hey.
Did
And it
people
ends-
applaud? I imagine, like.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it ends right on like the ending beat of a song, and like everyone claps.
I will wink at anybody pretty. Because they're clapping.
I think that is worth a joy for both of you.
Yeah.
For your like performance that like really riled the crowd up.
Excellent. I have so much joy. I do. I have way more joy than despair.
I have so much despair. I have 3 despair, but I've gotten 5 total.
I have one. I have one despair. And
By comparison, I have 1 joy currently and 3 total.
together we can make a lot of crux.
We could, yes. So if we just meld into one individual.
Wait, Lucky and Henrietta aren't like one person now?
right.
Not yet.
Not yet. Anyway,
Do we want to go over there?
I
As
think
I
we could-
like set her down.
Yeah, so you'll probably trail, a couple of, story beats kind of behind them
Okay.
after they
Did we-
arrive.
What did we do with our drinks while this was happening?
I
Left
think
them
I
at the
put
table.
oh, okay.
Great. All right. Well, I'm going to take a risk and just like pick mine back up, I guess.
I think I would have popped mine into my hair really quick.
Oh yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
Perfect. Okay.
I'll spend
Well,
a sorcery for that.
mine may or may not be drugged, but
You've done other things.
Great. Henrietta and Emma. So yeah, you're approaching the table. It becomes like quite obvious that you're approaching. Hiram is mopping himself and smiles at Emma Elizabeth as you're approaching. Ah, Emma, my dear.
Hello, Hiram. How are you today?
Oh, good as always. Please, sit. Join me and your
Oh, thank you.
friend.
Yeah, let's sit down and have you met my friend Henrietta? This is the first time here. I just wanted to show her one of my favorite spots that isn't necessarily local.
Welcome, my dear. Henrietta, it's very subtle, but when he is like looking at you and like extending a kind of greasy, large paw of a hand out to like take yours, he's like reaching both out.
Oh.
You can swear that you see just like the tip of a very pink tongue, like licking his lips a little bit.
No!
Oh no!
No! I'm gonna march over there faster. Like,
It's
use
real
me.
gross.
Oh, wait. Like Henry knows how to deal with sort of like the uber rich, like in her job. Like
Yeah.
for viewers, like Henrietta works at a clothing store or like sort of a I don't know, a fashion place for people who have recently gone to changeries and need, clothes for their new forms. And changeries are for like rich people basically, or people who have saved up a lot of money to like take care of, to give themselves book faces or whatever.
Yeah,
So she just like gingerly like
very common one is to replace your head with a book.
she just puts her hand out like and only gives him like the tips of her fingers.
Yeah,
She doesn't let him sandwich her whole hand.
yeah, and he takes them and sort of like shakes them up and down like this. He doesn't, pull you in or anything.
That's good. That would be
Yeah,
very impolite.
But-
Oh, is he damp?
his
yeah,
He is
his-
clearly
his
down.
hands aren't just damp; they're
They're like-
moist.
Oh, they're
Moist.
clammy and moist.
yeah, it's
No.
like it's like her fingers have been squished by two like
cold sausages.
Wet cold sausages.
wet cold like trout straight
Yeah,
like
right.
off the lake or whatever. Like just
Yeah. Yeah, and he just
charmed.
I'm completely
Sure.
unfazed.
the pleasure is all mine. His voice is like almost like burbly when he talks, like
No.
almost like little like bubbles in his mouth.
Like spittle.
Yeah.
Oh no.
He does periodically have to like he's one of those
Aw.
people that he's got sort of a a bit of an underbite, and he definitely like leaks spittle sort of almost constantly.
Oh my god, he just
so
looks
descriptive.
worse.
Build
Oh
up that comes on his lips that he has to like wipe away every couple minutes.
yeah.
Yeah, like, and especially when he talks, right? It leaks a little bit faster when he's actively talking.
Gross.
Okay, I'm going to like slam my drink as I like march over here. I'm like doing one of like this look right at
And he
At
looks
this
at
interaction.
Emma and says, "Oh, more friends of yours, Emma?"
I indicate Lucky. I've never seen this man before in my life.
Thrown under the bus.
In Henry's defense, she totally goes with it. Like, but she does throw Lucky a look like, just be cool. She tries to communicate things with her eyes that maybe like don't come across like
No, I'm just here with my girlfriend. That's her.
That's
oh,
me.
lovely. I saw them dancing.
A most excellent performance.
Mm.
I was entranced.
Were you?
Indeed.
Mm. Alice is just like really like.
So, Hiram's companion in the booth is not his sister. It appears to be a man in like a pretty finely tailored suit. One of those like, those like suits that they call the material like shark skin, those real
Mhm.
shiny
Yeah.
Yeah,
jackass suits.
yeah.
I don't know
Yeah.
about you all, but I think everyone who wears them looks like a jackass.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So it's like that, but it's probably literally made out of something like shark skin. In this case, it's like a leather, and it's very glossy. And probably, or is most definitely a Vizsla, because he is wearing a Order of the Goetic pin as a first tier Goetic, so the same tier as Emma Elizabeth. But has also gone to the Changeries. His face is utterly smooth. There is no like differentiation at all. Not even like a mannequin that has like little bumps. It's just like a spheroid egg.
That's
No
the most unpleasant thing
eyes.
I've ever heard.
No eyes, no mouth. He is quite literally a faceless man.
That's incredibly unsettling.
Yeah.
And he stays like quiet the whole time. You can tell he's looking at you. Emma, you probably know or have the distinct impression that he's like essentially a bodyguard.
Mhm.
He doesn't have a mouth either. Just like nothing
No
going
mouth.
on.
Nothing. It's
vicinity.
just spheroid.
Hmm.
Just like, you know, like on Twitter when he used to be just an egg.
hmm
No,
His head is just an egg.
I wasn't a cool kid on Twitter.
Yeah,
Can I give these guys a quick once over to see if they're carrying any weapons?
absolutely. This is a perception related task.
Mhm.
You don't know the level. Do you have any skills that would apply here?
Unless Streetwise gives me some ability to know where people
For
would hide weapons.
I think so. I totally
Okay.
buy Streetwise being an applicable skill
Mhm.
here. Are you going to
Yeah.
spend any bene out of your perception pool?
I will spend 1 perception bene.
Okay, perfect. Go ahead and give me a roll.
That's a 4.
All right. So the bodyguard, Hiram, it's hard to tell. He doesn't look like he could hide anything like under his
Mhm.
jacket because everything's like super tight, like straining at his bulk. There is definitely like a distinct bulge under the arm of the faceless man
Mhm.
that looks like a weapon of some kind.
Mhm.
So, Emma and friends, dancers, what can I do for you?
I'm just here to watch. Just curious what's going on over here.
In that case, this is perhaps a private conversation.
It's a public venue.
That was Henry also sort of giggling nervously.
It's
Again,
Really-
I
It's
apologize.
my
for that.
venue.
Hmm. All right. Well, I guess I can go wait outside. Lucky, if you're interested, we can. If you want, I don't know.
Yeah, why don't we just go get another drink and we can wait for Henry and Emma Elizabeth when their conversation is done.
That sounds good.
Tell them I
is-
sent you. Have one on the house.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Is there though like a spot that we could like walk and then just like step to the side and wait there and listen, or like not actually leave?
There might be. I'm saying you're gonna have to sort of investigate, see if you can find a likely place.
I have a sneaking skill.
Oh
Hey.
yeah,
Yes.
absolutely. I think that totally applies, Lucky. So
All
what,
right.
yeah, this seems like a Lucky kind of search.
Mhm.
All right. What do I need to do to find somewhere good to stand?
So I think that your pool, if you want to spend any bene, is going to be perception.
Okay.
It's seeing what you notice. Your sneaking skill can totally apply here.
Okay.
So you've got a venture of 2.
Okay.
That's assuming you spend bene. Sorry, I shouldn't
Right.
assume that.
hmm I mean, I will. Absolutely.
Okay.
I don't want to be caught. So.
Perfect.
All
So go ahead and give me a roll.
right. That's 4 plus
Okay.
2.
+2. Yep. All right. So, yeah, you find like a little bit of a dark corner that is just barely big enough for you to like pull Emma in beside you. And you'll have to strain. You probably won't overhear literally every word, but you hope that you'll at least get the gist of the conversation.
All right, I'm gonna yank Allison and be like, "Sorry, this is a little intimate."
It's okay. You know, it's really tight going into the disco ball, so I'm used to tight situations.
Perfect. All right. Well,
We're like spies.
that's exactly what we're like.
So, tell me, Emma and you friend.
Henry.
Henry. Delighted. What can Hiram do for you?
Well, I simply caught your eye across the way while the dance was happening, and I like to know new, unfamiliar faces that I feel like I should know due to my line of work.
Oh, tell me, what is your line of work?
I help create special clothing for on demand, custom, as it were, at Vavash's Wares. Perhaps you've heard of it, or your friend has, perhaps. So it seems his changes have only been to this region. Perhaps we haven't served him.
I have heard of the place. Very reputable establishment.
Thank you. I'd like to think so. And a man of your stature, it seems he might have trouble finding clothes that are appropriate.
I'm trying to decide if this is an insult or not.
It totally is.
But
She's trying to like.
This is a very Canadian insult. Like, this is
Yeah.
super passive aggressive.
I mean, I'm basically Canadian. Like, I'm Minnesotan, so
Yeah.
like I get it. The backhanded like compliment insult, like we excel at that.
Yeah. Perfect. All right. I'm gonna have you make gonna see how this conversation goes. So this is definitely like a bit of a social challenge, right?
Mm-hmm.
Are you trying to get like a specific reaction out of him, or like specific bits of information with this like line that you're tacking down?
I think I'm trying to just put him on edge and like
Okay.
kind of put him on his guard, kind of give him the impression that like I have an eye on you, mister.
Yeah. Okay.
Like suspicious, like I want to exude that like I'm suspicious without like totally saying like, hey dude, like you trying to eat my people, because that's rude.
Perfect. All right. So you don't know the level of the challenge here. This will be, in terms of any bene you want to spend, would be from your interaction pool.
Yeah, I'll spend one.
If I'm right here, can I assist in any way? Like,
yeah, you can aid. Do you have any social skills?
I don't know if I have any social skills. No, I do not.
All right. So normally to like aid someone, you sort of usually need a relevant skill.
Mm-hmm.
But in this case, I think the fact that you know him and your social standing, instead of aid, I'm going to treat it as an asset.
Okay.
So I think that, so functionally it's going to be the same thing.
Yeah.
So that'll add 1 to your venture.
Yeah.
Because you're not on your own. You're sort of leaning a little bit, Henrietta, on Emma's privilege in this case, right? To let you sort of snipe at him without obvious danger as well.
Yeah. I also like this might not be totally like I have disguise, like maybe I'm like trying to like disguise my intentions. That seems like a stretch.
That might be a bit. I mean, you know, I'm all about stretches, but that might be
Yeah.
a little bit too. That is definitely more like your mannerisms and trying to hide who you are.
Yeah. I also have like calming people as like my other skill, like to put them at ease, but I don't really want to do that. I want to
Yeah, you're going for the opposite in this
Yeah.
case.
All right.
All right.
I
So
will
you've got an
roll.
asset, and if you spend, then you've got a venture of 2.
Okay. I rolled a 9.
All right. So he is definitely like, you throw like a series of sort of barbed verbal jabs in his direction, and he definitely does seem to be sort of put aback a little. I'm guessing like you drop a few little hints in, sort of the like, I know what you did last summer
Yeah.
sort of thing.
Good reference.
Yeah. So yeah, he's definitely put back a little bit. So the conversation kind of sours a little bit. He remains polite.
Mm-hmm.
And he seems mixed, but he is definitely looking for like an exit to the conversation without like telling his bodyguard to throw you out.
And here's where I'm gonna mention how my friend has been stalked. Totally easing that into the conversation. Like, you know, it's amazing that you're able to pull such a crowd, because a friend of mine keeps saying that while she's in this neighborhood, something's been following her. And she's really uncomfortable by it. Have you heard anything about that? Any complaints?
I must admit I haven't, but I'll certainly keep my eyes peeled.
I'm sure you will.
I
They
must-
say it's a being that, you know, doesn't seem to, you know, when you look, you can't see it, but as soon as you turn, like you just feel it out of the
Hmm.
corner of your eye.
Well, I have to say, sometimes what's seen out of the corner of your eye is more real than what you look at square. After all, this is a very dangerous neighborhood.
She looks at him dead in the face, like, it sure is.
Perfect.
Well,
And
I
then
do
he's-
think that concludes our business tonight. I'm glad I was able to introduce you. And Hiram, I just wanted to say, whatever your extracurriculars are, quite frankly, they don't concern me, and I am not concerned by them. So whatever your interactions are with lovely Miss Henrietta, I hope our relationship can remain pleasant.
I
Of
hope to see you at the
course.
shop sometime.
Do give my regards to your mother.
Of course.
And
That's an interesting tidbit.
very, like, Mark Wahlberg of him.
All right. So as you guys withdraw and sort of regroup in the club a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I want to go back to the bar. I want to get another red drink. That shit was cool.
Yeah, I think as soon as the conversation ended, Lucky and Alice kind of took off for the bar so they wouldn't look suspicious.
Okay. Perfect.
Here, I'll buy everyone a drink.
Oh, you know us now.
It's all right. It's okay, Alice, because she wants to spend money on us.
Okay.
Bartender, I would like a drink that tastes like intimidation and fear.
Oh, I'm sure I can find something.
Thank you.
Alice would like another of the same. Another
Oh,
cup.
damn.
The bartender looks at you and cocks an eyebrow and says, "Are you sure you want another? Second one is playing with fire."
Throat disintegration.
I bring the fire.
I like this new side of you, Alice.
I
Something
don't
happened.
know. This morning was weird.
And he pours you more drinks of exactly what you order. Henrietta's, now you didn't quite clarify, and so the drink he serves you tastes like intimidation and fear. It is like a cold, like shiver running down your spine with every drink.
She embraces it.
Nice. Yes. I slap 2 crystal onto the bar, and I order hatred.
All right. So you get very similar to the red wine that Alice is drinking, but it's like distilled into like a liquor format. But it also has a bit of the essence of the red in terms of a bit of raw hatred that they serve.
Rad.
All right, so I think that is actually a good place to close for the evening, and we'll let our Vizsla regroup and recapture and decide what they want to pick up on. Not next week, unless we come back at a different time, because I am going to be unavailable on Saturday night. But for our next session, which at the latest I think will be in 2 weeks, unless we can, like I said, book a alternative time next week for everybody. So thanks everyone for joining. What we will do is go around and touch on people's character arcs and see where people have made advancements on their character arcs or otherwise had things that should bring them joy or despair. So let's start with the obvious. Henrietta,
Hey.
you have definitely made progress on your character arc.
Yeah. And I cast a spell for the first time, which was so
Yay.
great.
You
It was
did,
so
yeah.
cool. And it
What spell
worked.
did you cast?
I used I aggregated my stuff together to totally stun a dude because he pulled a gun on us.
Double
Yeah.
meat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It shot like I threw a puff of like, you know, when it's cold out, you just like, uh-oh. Alex froze.
Oh.
He did.
I was like,
So there we go.
There we go.
Hey, you guys froze for a second there.
You
Well,
did
you
too.
froze.
She like puffed out some like cold air and it like as like an arrow and it shot into this dude's face. And
Neat.
Yeah.
That's rad.
it was super cool.
Yeah,
I'm proud
perfect.
of you.
So that was a new weaving of aggregates for you. So as a weaver, that definitely brings you joy.
Yay, joy!
And of course, your character arc, you're on the arc of helping a friend, repaying a debt.
Yes.
And you have
Personal
definitely advanced paying a debt. So that is also worth an acumen.
Woo! I got 2 acumen now. Rolling an acumen. What up?
All right. Was there anything else that you can think of from your order, like your various other things first that would bring you joy or despair?
I mean, I was really looking for if the conversation was gonna get like weird, like more weird outside of like this sort of social like conforms. Henry was totally gonna just like vomit on this dude. Not gonna lie, a little disappointed that didn't happen. Like
Well-
if he was just gonna be like really unreasonable, she was just gonna go like, but
Maybe next time.
maybe next time. That yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, I think that's good. She feels like a little frustrated. She can't do something right away about this dude, but she's scheming. Now she's gonna have to scheme on how to like take
Yeah.
on this guy or like figure out his end game.
Yeah, definitely, because it's an like, what does he want? Like,
Right.
what is he up to? He's clearly up to something.
Mm-hmm.
And then further, yeah, what you're going to do.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Alice. So you got awarded some joy and despair earlier for like creating your first object of power.
Yep.
And some despair because it was depleted on its very first use.
So sad. That was like three weeks of income. It's fine. It's fine. We can make more money. We can steal.
Yeah.
I poured my life savings to this thing that broke and went to my heart.
Yeah, but then something did weird happen there, and that might bring some future issues, because your character arc is growth.
Yeah.
And in particular, remind us what Alice is like. What does Alice want to grow, or what do you want Alice to grow towards?
Yeah. So I wrote down, I've got a little notes thing that I've been keeping for this. I wrote down that Alice's growth arc is that she feels unproven in the world of Islay, despite being a maker. Crime will surely help her prove herself. And I think we already, because we got joy and despair, I think it's good. But I answered one of her questions, which is, what is crime within me? And the answer is a lock and key.
Yeah. So I think that is worth an acumen.
And I had a small thing, which I completely realize might harm Alice. But at the end, once she gets her drink, she wants to down it because she thinks she's a badass.
Excellent. It definitely burns. I think it doesn't, immediately, but it probably does some damage. So like mark down an injury.
Okay. Yeah, but that's all I had for Alice.
Okay, perfect. No, I think that sounds good. Lucky.
Okay. Joy at disabling to like gangbangers, basically. Like, not only did I get to use Jolt Mine, but I also got to kick a gun out of some guy's hands. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, no, that's true. So you did use your forte ability for the very first time. So I think that would be worth joy.
Yeah. Okay.
As Lucky racks up joy.
He has so much fucking joy. It's just
which is kind of insane.
It's what?
I said it's kind of both like weird and appropriate for Lucky. Right? Like Lucky seems like this real downtrodden, he's like quasi homeless, like whatever else. But he just like mooches off of everybody else around him for his own joy.
He just like rolls with the punches, basically, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I think Lucky goes into every situation thinking, okay, this is bad, but how can I turn it into something beneficial? Not necessarily good, but something that he can gain from, you know?
Yeah.
And then despair at somebody, even a gross guy, like putting some moves on Henry.
Oh yeah, because this is like the first time this has really happened, like in the game. So
yeah, it was gross.
It was super gross. And you know, as her older brother from the Grey, but not in the actuality, he's not okay with that.
Yeah, and you know, she seemed like she kind of went right into sort of a dangerous situation and all that. So yeah, I think some despair for that totally makes sense.
Yeah, I think so. Trying to think of another. I think that's kind of it for this session.
Yeah. Yeah, and Henrietta's character arc was sort of first and foremost for this session. So acumen, so joy and despair you combine to make crux. there's another type of experience called acumen, and acumen mostly comes from your advancing character arcs, which everyone is just on their starting character arc, although they can spend acumen to open additional character arcs. Like there is one called Help a Friend, for instance, so which is a good character arc to open when you want to help someone else like really pursue their main one. But it costs some acumen to do. All right, and sorry, yeah, go ahead.
His last drink was envy.
Oh, envy, excellent.
Good. Good.
Yeah,
Fucking perfect.
Yeah.
Nicely done.
it was super green, like that, like cartoon absinthe, like where it's almost like radioactive.
Yes,
green.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
and you know,
absolutely.
it's festive because it's St. Patrick's Day.
Exactly. And his name
Absolutely.
is Lucky.
Absolutely.
Hey.
Well, here in Atlanta, Canada, we have rolled over midnight, so it is
Hey.
actually
Atlanta,
Patrick's Day for
Canada?
me. Where I live,
Atlanta?
Atlantic.
Oh, okay.
Atlanta's
Like,
Canada.
what?
Where the traffic is
Atlanta.
fucking terrible, but everyone's really polite about it.
Yeah, it's not hot Atlanta, it's cold Atlanta.
And the traffic is horrible because all the goddamn moose on the road.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so Emma Elizabeth, you popped in for the last bit there. I don't know. Do you feel like your involvement, sort of how you've stepped into it, maybe with Hiram, ties into your fall from grace at all?
Honestly, I don't think so.
No.
Or at
Okay.
least not in a way that she is cognizant of, or that
Okay.
I am cognizant of.
Well, I have to say, I
just
love.
feel like this. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead. You're fine.
Oh, I just feel like this is just her average, Saturday night or whatever.
This
She's
is
just-
her average slumming it.
Yeah, this is just, when she's not, being important, this is, one of the things that she does, which is evidently come here and drink the most foul, loathsome drinks possible.
I
Yeah.
love
Also,
how she.
question, what happens if you drink too many? Like, what happens if you drink too much hatred? I
Too much
want to know. I want to know.
Yeah. I can imagine that you get like drunk on hatred and like it makes you angry drunk.
I feel like in that situation, like somehow Emma Elizabeth, like very rarely, like maybe once, like every 6 months, they don't mention it. She somehow like managed to stumble her way angrily to dark basement and demands
A
to
place to
sleep
sleep.
there. Yeah.
Yeah.
And she will not be turned away.
But then she's gone before everybody else wakes up.
Exactly.
Of
And, like,
course,
you just
because-
don't talk about it.
Right.
Yeah. Sam, what were you saying? I'm sorry I cut you off.
Oh, I love how at the end she was like, I hope this doesn't impact our personal relationship.
Yeah,
That
no.
was such an
Like-
Emma Elizabeth move. Like, I'm gonna save my
Yeah.
own ass right now.
Yeah, because
Right?
like no offense to Henry, but whatever the fuck she's got going on with like this thing, like I don't care.
And I love that because like Henry basically said to Emma Elizabeth without coming out right out, like, I also like vomit monsters, so like that's why he's interested in me. And Emma Elizabeth was just like, whoosh.
So now Alice is the only one that doesn't know that in character, right? That you.
But
people-
apparently Emma Elizabeth doesn't either, because she was just like, I don't understand how this has anything to do with you.
No, she got it. She's just like, okay, you do too. I still don't like. Why would you say I wouldn't help someone else who cages people?
That-
Doesn't
that's
Like,
understand.
she
Yeah,
just
so
really
you're
doesn't
right, fair
understand the altruism here.
fair enough. Yeah. So
So
yes,
at that
Alice
point,
is
I
the
don't
only
think
one
we
who doesn't.
established. At that point, I don't think we established the threat to you as well. So it's just like, okay, they're being hunted. That's great.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. It's like, oh my god. Look who's here. It's Monty Cook Games.
Hey, Monty Cook. Games.
Hey,
hey,
we actually just wrapped up.
We're just wrapping,
Sadly.
and we're
Yeah.
going through our character summaries, and we appreciate the host as always. Yeah, so we're going through
This is
our
the
character
best
summaries.
game.
It's so much.
It's
It's
so
so
is.
fun.
a lot of fun.
No, I think about this constantly.
Yeah.
Just so
I-
you know.
I don't know, because I know, Dan, didn't you post our other like playlist on your Patreon or
Yeah,
The-
we
on the
we
very-
posted playlists on the Patreon, and we've had updates. So actually, I should send those out.
Yeah, I made another
gonna
one
say-
for Henry too.
I was not aware of this. Please post mine. I love it so much.
Oh my god,
Yeah.
Emma Elizabeth is like, it's so good.
Yeah, no, we absolutely need to. I'm behind on my Patreon posts, so
Oh, no worries.
I should send those out.
I made a revised one. You know, like Sam's a super bad influence because she's just like, I don't know, I've got like 20 playlists per character. Like, what do you do, Lab? And I'm just
Talking about
listening to music, and she's just like, you're not listening to it good enough.
what are you talking? When have I ever said something like that? Ever
Sam
in my
actually
life?
shares like extra music for Lucky with me that
I do,
occasionally,
I
which is
share.
totally awesome.
I
She
should
does the same. She does the same fucking shit in D&D. Like I'll be going about my goddamn day. I'll be in class. Like, oh, Armand song. Where did this come from?
You're pronouncing his name wrong.
Armand.
Armand.
It's Armand.
Okay.
It's like you've never seen Interview with a Vampire.
Oh my god.
I have
he
not.
hasn't.
Oh my god!
Oh my
How have you
God.
been friends with Sam and not seen this?
I haven't seen your old people shit.
It's not old people shit, man. It's perfect.
When is it from? When is
The
it from?
90s.
Oh,
Yeah, it's from the 90s. It's
Oh.
the best vampire movie ever.
I
It's the
wasn't
best
born in the 90s.
Excuses.
All right, so we have wrapped our character summaries for the night. We will sign off to continue arguing about Interview with the Vampire and its relative position within the hierarchy of vampire movies, which is fantastic. So I will just brief announcements, and we'll go around for anyone else's plugs that they want to make, because everyone's got some cool stuff, or a bunch of people have cool stuff. Please, you can follow us here on Twitch. You can subscribe if you are so inclined. We also have a link to our Patreon below, where if you want to help support what we do on the channel, including more Invisible Sun and Cypher and D&D and all kinds of fun stuff, please do so. In terms of what we have coming up, we have a bit of a busy week because I've got some vacation days and live in the bachelor life for a week, so I'm streaming a bunch of stuff. So I believe, ideally, tomorrow afternoon, I'm going to come back with some more Monty Cook Games content with Cypher System, with my Bleeding Edge transhumanist sci-fi game, Sunday afternoon. On Monday, we will have our usual Dungeon of the Mad Mage as DM Corey continues his run of level 10 of the dungeon. That's at 8 p.m. 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Tuesday, we will have the finale of the sort of two-part Return of the Feels Crew, Winter Crew extension of our Dragon Heist stuff with Eugenio Vargas. And I believe that's going to be at 7:30 Eastern Standard Time. As always, follow us on Twitter, and I'll tweet out announcements for everything. Wednesday is Dungeon of the Mad Mage at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And let's see. Thursday, I'm going to do some more Cypher Bleeding Edge. And Saturday, we'll have more Dungeon of the Mad Mage in the afternoon. So that's announcements for the channel. And Sam, you want to plug some stuff?
Sure, yeah. I'm Sam. I'm 60 for the Victor on Twitter. In my pinned tweet, if you'd like to see what my character Lucky looks like, he's actually the first image, and I'm really proud of that piece, so I'd really appreciate it if everybody checked out. I'm currently working on Emma Elizabeth, Alex's character, as birthday gift, and eventually I hope to have all four of them so that we can kind of cycle it before the show.
Yeah.
Anyway, I recently did the cover and some interior art for Ashley Warren's Uncaged anthology, which is on DM's Guild, and we are so close to getting platinum, which would be incredible. So if you haven't checked that out, go for it. It's a I'm not the writer, so I'm not very good at describing it. It's like a feminist take on monsters, I guess. And it's been getting some really amazing reviews, and I'm really proud of everybody that's worked on it. So definitely go look at that if you haven't.
It is glorious and beautiful, and your cover art is fantastic.
Thank you
And
so much.
I just love every picture and link I see of it streaming across my Twitter. It just
Oh my
makes me
god,
happy.
it's such a great project, and there's still 3 volumes to come out, so it's pretty incredible.
Perfect. Do we have any other plugs? Corey, Alex, Annie?
Not tonight.
Not tonight. Okay.
Yeah, so I'm at Alphabet Seeds on Twitter. You might see me retweeting about this cool new like feminist take, like kind of redoing tropes of like mythological creatures like Medusa, who's on the cover. I don't know if you've heard of her, but my very cool friend Sam like actually did a lot of the art for it, and you should definitely buy it. It's called Uncaged. That's my plug. Also, Sam does, what she forgot to mention is that she has a friggin' print store
I do.
that you should buy prints from.
Bless you for taking your time to plug me.
Yeah, no problem.
Yourself.
My job, as many of us share, is Sam's like hype person. So she forgets all the things that she's doing because she's doing a lot. Let's not forget to mention that she's also going to be doing an adventurer's fashion primer.
Yeah.
So
I'm doing that too.
yeah. Sam. Yeah, Ninny, don't forget all the shit.
Oh yeah, that's me.
You should follow her. Because she's way cooler. I don't know why people follow me. I don't do anything. I tweet about Destiny, the game, and
Oh, but you're a sweetheart.
oh geez. That's what I do. I just retweet all my like very cool new friends stuff because they're very cool and amazing, and you should pay attention to what they're doing. And
Perfect.
just follow me as like sort of an ancillary person to them.
You're wonderful in your own right.
Absolutely. Excellent. Alex, other than it's your birthday, so happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Alex!
Happy birthday.
My
I
best
have
friend.
the full legal right to Blast 22 by Taylor Swift for a full fucking year.
You
I'm
too. Oh my god, that's one of her best
100%
songs too.
advantage. Oh, I know, right?
It's so good.
Oh, and then after
So
that, you can
good.
blast another song that you don't know called "What's My Age Again" by Blink-182.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Because like
Oh
once
my
you get to
God.
24, you're officially old. You've got one foot in the grave. So like,
Yeah, but no one likes you when you're 23. So.
that's true.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's
All
a
right.
blast from the past.
Excellent. So we're going to sign off and continue to have shenanigans in Zoom off
Before we
stream.
embarrass Dan anymore.
Yeah, before I
Right,
turn any
yeah.
more red. All right. Thank you, everyone, so much for tuning in. We love this game. Thank you, Monty Cook Games. Thank everyone for watching. And we will catch you over the week. So see you next time.
Bye.